Climate change, it's pretty close to home for South Carolinians. The city of Charleston flooded 1 out of almost every 5 days in 2019, according to the National Weather Service. NBC News correspondent Cal Perry looks at the state's flooding crisis.
Hey, Allison, this is Low Battery, just next to Charleston Harbor. And the reality is Charleston Harbor is rising. It's risen a foot in the last 100 years. And Charleston is sinking. I'm not being funny about that. This sidewalk, as you can see, is slanted. It used to be even, but the groundwater is carrying a lot of the soil out to sea. This is all part of a bigger concern here in Charleston, which is why you'll see in this direction a $65 million project to literally raise this up, to raise the seawall up in Charleston to try to keep the water out of the city. This is a city that floods rain or shine. It flooded 79 days last year, which is why it's so important to the residents of this city. We asked the mayor what he thought about last night's debate and the fact that climate change didn't come up. Take a listen.
I am a little surprised. They got a little carried away with sniping at each other, and I certainly was hopeful that they would have discussed climate change somewhat. I know they have in prior debates, but I was looking forward to hearing about it last night and didn't. We are on the front line of defense against sea level rise and extreme weather and climate change. And so no matter what the cause, we are having to deal with it. And that's why I call this an existential threat. This year is our 350th birthday. I would like for Charleston to be available for citizens to enjoy for generations to come, another 350 years.
What we're really talking about are, of course, the people who live here, the people who live right behind me, right next to the harbor. It is a beautiful place to live, but it, of course, now comes with the threat of constant flooding. We talked to people here about this construction, and they said, of course, it's loud, it's annoying. But it's absolutely necessary because these property values are dropping as the situation gets worse. And it's worse the further out of Charleston you go. When you go out to some of these outer islands, you meet people who have been inundated with water who can now no longer insure their houses. It's why when we spoke to the mayor, I asked him, what is the price tag? How much money do you need to keep Charleston from flooding on a regular basis? He said $2 billion. The problem with that, of course, Allison, is where's that money going to come from? He's asking the federal government for that money. But right now is not a great time when you're trying to raise money for climate change. That is going to be an ongoing story. Allison?
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.